Good morning, good morning, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Good morning, good morning, good morning. This is Tasha M. Dyer, the Trade Whisper. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get this call started in just a minute, but I want to make sure that each and every last one of you all, as you log in this morning, drop it in the chat, drop it in the chat. Let us know where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations. Drop it in the chat. I am excited this morning because we literally have been on, an introduction week. This has been a phenomenal week. This has been a week of no return. This has been a week where we just step out and we are definitely walking into the promise of acceleration, of elevation, right? Elevation and acceleration. I am just so excited. And so, ladies and gentlemen, you want to wake up. You want to pay attention for this call. You want to make sure that you have your computers up. You want to make sure that you're ready to understand and take a deeper dive into your analysis, because our call schedule is just what it is. Our call schedule is set up for you. Our call schedule is to ensure that you are operating in a success, because we start the week out with the basics and we're going to close out strong. We're closing out with the advanced training today. So continue to drop it in the chat as you log in. Drop it in the chat. Let me know where you're calling in from, along with those affirmations, because we are about to get this call started in just a moment. Yes, we are. Let me see, who do we have on the line? I see Milwaukee. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Jacksonville. Good morning, Fort Mitchell, Alabama. Good morning, Cleveland, Ohio. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Fort Polk. Good morning, Milwaukee, Columbus, Ohio. Good morning, Minnesota. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, Manchester, UK, Essex, UK, London, Toronto, New Jersey. Good morning, Milwaukee. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, continue to drop it in the chat. I'm telling you right now, this is definitely something you want to do, something you definitely want to be a part of, something you want to hear. And make sure you're streaming. Right? You're streaming. We're streaming. You should be streaming. You should be sharing. 2 million, 2 million, 2 million strong is exactly what we are. And so if we're streaming, you stream, right? That's how it should go. If I stream, you stream. So that's really where I want you guys to be. All right. I am an educated BYOB master trader anointed for wealth. I am the signal. All my trades in and profit. I am 777. Now, let me help you guys. Let me help you. Now, I want you to know that this weekend, right? This is a holiday weekend. And so, first things first is there is no calls on Monday. Monday is a U.S. holiday. We do not do calls on Monday. All right. Monday is a holiday. I'm trying to figure out how the kids have Friday and Monday. Work with me on that one, because that's the kind of school system I should have been in. But there is no school on Monday. All right. No school on Monday. No call on Monday. It is a holiday. All right. And we have some phenomenal events that is transpiring, happening. Now, Cleveland, go show out. I'm telling you, go show out. We are going to represent. It is the birthday of Dr. Martin Luther King, the celebrated holiday that we have. So we want to represent as we expose people to life-changing information. We want to make sure that we stand up. We want to make sure that as we're exposing individuals to this information, we understand the power and the magnitude of us speaking on Saturday, on the holiday. And then, of course, in Jacksonville, we will be here as well. So go get registered. BYOB Movement .eventbrite.com, where you can pull up both events. And I'm gonna just go ahead and drop it right now, because coming soon to a new month near you, the United Kingdom is gonna be standing up as well. So that gives me goosebumps. That makes me excited, because we're literally talking about worldwide. So you want, hey, stand up. Let's put it in a city near you. Look, we're changing the globe. That's what we're doing, ladies and gentlemen. We are changing the world. So with that being said, I know you guys are like, look, I got on this call because I want to trade. I want to see what the market's doing. You know, that profit, this is a profit call. We have some analysis. There we go, standing up. There we go, represent. But we have a profit call. And today is the event. So what is the event all about? Well, I'm so glad you asked, because what I'm going to do right now is I'm actually going to turn this call over to a gentleman that, let me tell you, today is the event's day. Today you're going to hear his voice, but he is a veteran. And then he was a professional cellular tower climber, right? And I don't know if you can say that pretty. I don't know if you can say it, because we thank them for what they do, because these devices where we take our trades. But at the same time, I don't think I could have been the one to climb that tower. So we salute. But why am I saying that? Because a transition has taken place. A transition has taken place. A transition is now here, because you have someone who, because of the skill set that they're sharing with you, because of the knowledge, because of that, they are now in a position where they are a full-time husband, a full-time father, and a full-time educator. And so I'm excited about that. When you can live life on your terms, you get to control the process and you get to dictate the outcome. So I'm gonna turn this call over to none other than to Mr. Genesis Patton. Mr. Patton, are you on the line?
I am. Good morning, Miss Tasha M. Dyer. Good morning. And let me start off by just saying, one, thank you for the opportunity to perform on this platform, and to send another shout out to the rest of our visionary team, Dr. Craig Bythewood and Mr. Gerald D. Rogers. I appreciate each and every one of you guys' commitment to the discipline that keeps this platform running. I'm going to go ahead and get my screen share started. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. As you log in, continue to drop it in the chat, your affirmations. Mindset is so pivotal, so pivotal. I can't express to you how important your mindset is. So make sure you're dropping it in the chat. If you copy and paste those things, make sure you say it out loud to yourself. Make sure you write it down in your notebook. Whatever it takes for you to do it, get through it, my man, my lady. I'm telling you, those mindsets are important. Now, so I have an idea of who's on the call with us. Let me get a 111 if this is your first time joining with us. 111 in the chat if this is your first time joining with us. 222 if you're returning with us and just learning a little bit more about the skill set. 222. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. All right, and if you're cashing out with us, if you have cashed out with us, let me see you drop a 777. Man, you guys are putting in some work. 222s, everybody showing back up. That commitment, I love it. 777s. Oh, we got some 6 and 6s. So that means we got some individuals that are prepared to go for 6 figures in 6 months. And then you guys who are familiar with this are dropping 888s because you are compounding with this. So if you are cashing out and compounding with this, let me see you drop an 888 in the chat. Thank you guys. I appreciate all the love. I appreciate all the love. So as you guys continue to drop those in the chat, I want to bring your attention to where we start at with the BYOB cash out method, this strategy that we've been blessed with, BYOB cash out strategy. We start in the news right here. Okay, guys. Now, a saying in construction was that you measure twice and you cut once. Okay. So what we're going to do is ensure that we're relying on multiple sources for our news. Okay. The one I like to start out with in the mornings is Forex Factory. It gives like a pretty solid layout. There's no real noise. It's as simple as it gets. Okay. One thing that I want to bring your attention to right here is this PPI. These are things that we wait for in the market, but let's see what Forex Factory has to say about it.
Mr. Patton, we can't see. We see the logo.
Oh. Okay. Are you seeing my my news now?
No.
Are we seeing news now?
We got you now.
All right, great, great. All right, well, here we are on Forex Factory, like I was explaining to you guys before. What it does is it measures the change in price of finished goods and services sold by producers. Again, we're referring to this PPI, our first red folder of the day on our USD. Now, let's just drop our attention down to this why traders care. It's a leading indicator of consumer inflation. When producers charge more for goods and services, the higher costs are usually passed on to the consumer. Now, why is it that I want to open this folder? Because just like Ms. Dyer said, we're jumping into a deeper portion of the skill set when you're here in my lab on Thursdays, right? So just reading that first red folder, let's look into more of what's going on. We've got unemployment claims that I see right here, and a FOMC member is speaking today. Those speeches are always really important, you guys. So since a lot of us are returned to the call, we know that fundamentals drive the market. Our news is what's going to create that liquidity, most of those liquidity pushes in the market, okay? So as I go to my next news source, you notice on this one, we don't see any red folders at all, okay? However, on Forex Factory, we've got a big bright red one first thing at 8:30 a.m. So again, reiterating to the point why we check multiple news sources, because had I just come to my Forex Factory just because I feel like it provides a little bit more information, I would have missed out on that red folder. So another thing that I'm noticing as I come to my Forex, my FX Street, is these jobless claims, you guys. These are really important in the market. Now, as you see, it's not a red folder, but it has some more some more importance or prevalence than other folders you see have lower rates on. Well, it's not like a yellow or red, but you guys see what's going on here. Just bringing attention to the jobless claims. To a third source of news, we have my FX book. Now, when you go onto my FX book, the economic news isn't as user friendly, like as available. So what you do is you hover over your home tab, and go to your economic calendar, and it's going to provide you with all this lovely information of the day. Now, what I see, let's go to around these jobless claims, because again, in this advanced call, these are things that I've been waiting on this entire week. As advanced skill set, we have been waiting on this entire week, our core PPIs, and we really just want to focus on what time those are hitting. 8:30. I see more 8:30. Thinking about those speeches that are happening again, looking out for those in the market. It seems like on our euros, we have a speech around 9:30. Gas, we have some news on gas at 10:30. So guys, I hope you see the value in everything that's being listed here, okay? Just areas of value, which you should get used to hearing me say. These are areas of value when it comes to our news. As you can see, our red folders that were listed. So before I get too far ahead of myself, I want to go ahead and reintroduce you guys to the BYOB cash out strategy. It's the whole thing that's got us here in the first place. So yes, on every single call, we are going to go over this. You guys, practice makes perfect, and repetition and all these exercises will do you well, okay? So in line with the BYOB cash out strategy, we're going to start here on the 15-minute. As you can notice, I'm on my GBP USD currency pair. I'm going to close out my watch list for now because it's not something that I'm really considering at the moment. Okay, and here at the 20, our area of value on our first indicator, our stochastic, we've noticed that the blue line has crossed over the red and upward momentum. When we come up to look at our second indicator, our Hikanashi candles, if I can get us to the center of the screen here. All right, I'm going to get this line out you guys' way. And what you'll notice is that we have a flat bottom green candle, okay? Now, our third indicator, our parabolic stop and reverse, our PSR flip, has flipped right here in our 15-minute time frame after we noticed our blue line crossing over our red right under our flat bottom candle. This is the BYOB cash out strategy in effect, but we don't just jump into trades here at BYOB. So what we're going to do is then check for time frame confluence up here at my 1 hour. You know, our larger time frames give us more direction as to what is actually happening in the market. And at BYOB, the most important thing you want to grasp hold of is that you trade with the trend. The trend is your friend, you guys. The trend is your friend. So right here at my 1 hour, if you bring your attention back down to my stochastic, I'll actually pull this into a full screen. You can see where, so we were down here at the 20 at my 1 hour, this oversold condition. And while where my exact line is, that's where it kind of bumped up. You know, when you're looking for confluence, what we want to do is recognize at the 1 hour trades that look like they are in line with the trend, right? So while we would have waited just a couple of minutes for to actually get this full curve on and curve up, what we would do next is drop down to our 5-minute time frame, and we would start seeking our entry point. I'm going to bring you guys back to my line. If you guys can already tell how much more activity you can see on the lower time frames, right? All right, I'm going to bring us in closer to our vertical line for reference. Guys, feel free to do whatever you guys need to do to lay down points of reference on your charts. But right here at the 5-minute is where we would have begun to seek our entry point. Okay. And as the weeks go on, you guys, we're going to go into more detail as in to when you would wait and enter the trade, because as you can see, you have your impulses, your corrections, your continuations, your corrections, and it stayed stagnant for a good little period before it actually moved. But at this point in time, what you can do is grab your 10 pips and cash out or trade to your first support and resistance line, which we're going to be going over in the coming weeks. Now, how's everybody's morning going so far? I hope everybody is having a good morning. I tell you what, I prayed for you all last night. So in all this, I'm sure you guys are. We're going to walk into what we already know as Trust Your Trade Thursday, right? So we're going to see if there's any harmonic scanner patterns out there that we can trade, because that's just what we do when we check into our charts on the morning with BYOB. Now, this is what we know as our harmonic scanner. I'm going to go ahead and take some of these indicators off the bottom so they're not clouding us up as much. When I go to my harmonic scanner tool in the morning, I immediately take myself to my 1 hour time frame. And as you can see, it's giving us some indication that there's a area of value on our AUD JPY pair. Okay. Now, you guys, if you aren't already tracking, what our harmonic scanner does is it indicates reversal patterns, right? So keeping that in mind, just hold on to that thought. What I'm going to do is I'm going to open up our AUD JPY. I hope you guys didn't cheat on me with those affirmations. I'm telling you, those things are important. Like Miss Dyer said, I used to climb cellular tower, guys. We'll notice that a lot of our other educators, they have college degrees, they have all types of things that what I felt like at the time qualified them more than I did. So what I used in the beginning to qualify myself were my affirmations. I was in a situation to where I almost felt like there was no light at the end of the tunnel. Working on the road, you guys, can get really tough. But showing up every single day, tapping into my mindsets, tapping into my affirmations day by day, surely enough, you guys, it honed into my spirit that I was not going to have to rely on that always. Being away from my family, you guys, I'm telling you, pray for your anybody you have out there working on the road. Okay, so now that my AUD is open, let me bring my harmonic scanner values back to our charts. Oh, and I don't want to skip this. Okay, so here we go on our advanced calls. If you guys were with us last year, you guys know that Tasha referred to a thing called top-down analysis. All right, this is what we're going to make ourselves really familiar with on Thursdays is top-down. Okay. Before I even get to laying my values for my harmonic scanner on my web analyzer, I personally go in and drop my own support and resistance values on there myself. And you guys will see why here soon, okay? So here my 4 hour, let me squinch up a little bit. That is a trademark phrase, squinched up. All right, you guys, I'm gonna drop support and resistance. Now you guys, if you tap in tonight with our market talks, you're gonna understand more about what I've got going on right now. Why is he not going all the way to the taskbar for his horizontal lines? What is he looking at? Guys, that's what tonight's call is all about. Join with me again at 9 o'clock. We are going to be going deeper into our skill set. I've got a lot prepared for you guys, and I really look forward to seeing you again. Okay, so again, so like I mentioned before, the harmonic scanner indicates reversal patterns. So here at the 4 hour, where it's really giving us what direction the market is going in, I can see definitely what it's trying to say. There's a zone right here, and we found ourselves at the top of it. Okay. Now there's some other things I see at the moment, but I'm really not going to get into that at this second. I'm going to return to that. But what I would like to do at this point is I see a psychological level at this 84. So I'm going to drop that for us. You guys, I'm all about where are we at in the market. When I open these trades, when I pull any of my triggers from the vibrata, I get to asking and answering a bunch of questions. So what I want to know first that is where we are. We've already identified that we are in a zone. It looks like we're at the top of it. We're not so sure just yet. So in between this 83 and this 84, I'm going to thicken these up because these are very real zones as well. Guys, one thing you have to keep in mind about when you're laying support and resistance on the charts is that none of these lines are definitive. I like to consider this like an artful science, right? What you have to be prepared for is that your support and resistance, even though they seem like a tiny thin line, actually represents a zone. So get used to trying to identify these zones that you'll hear me mention a lot. Okay. So I have my high and my low according to my psychological levels. Before I add another indicator, I'm going to add our mid-range psychological level, which is going to be our 83.5. Now, Miss Dyer refers to our psychological levels as having a lot of zeros. And this is very true, you guys. Another perspective I want you to pull from that is almost like this is a price. Like this is the value. You've got 83.5 of your Japanese currency versus your Australian dollar. Just like in your calculators, you wouldn't enter 83.50000. You can enter 83.50. Now, whatever's clever for you guys, do whatever makes you feel comfortable in your zones. But on Thursdays, we're going to spend a lot of time doing like quick controls. I'm not sure if you guys are, some refer them to as like IBM controls, like Control H, Control V, how you see me laying down my support and resistance without coming over here. But we've got trading to get into. So tap in with me tonight and I'll go deeper into all of that. Okay. Now that I've got my psychological levels on here, we're going to go with some pivots, you guys. Now, these are all things that you can find information on in the Academy. You can tap into our YouTube channel as well. Why am I not seeing my pivots? Where are you at, guys? Pivots, pivots, pivots. But tap into our YouTube channel, guys. We've got a wealth of information for you. Let me try to add this pivot on here one more time. If it doesn't go, I'm not going to let it stop us. I'm still not seeing it, but that's okay. We can still make informed decisions without that tool at this moment, right, you guys? So speaking of which, it just comes to mind that, you know, while our harmonic scanner is a tool, all of our tools we bring back to our web analyzer. None of these are for individual trade taking. Like, I'm really glad they changed the title of our now labeled idea goals, because you don't want to just go into any of these tools by themselves and think that that's going to help you take your trade. You want to bring everything back to the web analyzer for analysis. It's right there in the name. You know what I mean? Guys, back here at our web analyzer as well, your vibrata is going to give you tool triggers throughout the day that are going to either validate the trade that you're looking at, or they're going to help you make decisions on what other direction to take, right? So if you saw this first value I placed in, it's our first suggested entry point, all right? My suggested entry points are going to be this blue dotted line. I'm going to continue with our idea goal values, okay? Our first one is 83.5539. Our second one being 83.47179. And our third suggested ideal goal, checkpoint 83.34. Call it what you want. You know, get personal with these charts, you guys. As much time as you guys will spend with these things, call them what you want. Make your get comfortable, you know. Okay, so if I stay squinched in a little bit, what you'll notice is that, so when we first approached our chart, I laid down my personal support and resistance represented by these yellow lines, right? And why I said I do that very intentionally is because if you do that, you'll notice your confidence will start to build in your trades, right? While our harmonic scanner is just like the closest thing you can get to the answers in the back of the book, you don't want your skill set to stay right there, okay? For the same reason we don't call signals and all this, that, and the third, you don't want your skill set to plateau. You want it to continue to rise, you know? You want it to continue to rally, just like this thing looks like it's doing. Okay, so to bring my value back down, now that we have our all of our values on the chart, let's take it to the harmonic scanner. All right, what we're looking for is a reversal pattern, and here at my 1 hour we are overbought, right? Here at my 4 hour we are in an overbought condition. Okay, so these are things to pay attention, guys. If you'll notice here at the 4 hour, we are not finished buying. We are not finished buying. I mean, one more time. We are not finished buying. Okay. Listen to that 4 hour. Like I said, it gives you direction in the market. When I jump down to the 1 hour, I'm kind of just trying to see what's happening at the moment. And as you can see, it's still buying. All right. Now, not to say that this trade isn't valid. Not to say that at all. I've never even, excuse me, guys, you have to forgive me. I never dropped our suggested stop loss. We want to analyze everything that this tool has to offer, right? We're not, it'd be one thing if it was a trade that we had analyzed, brought up and all that, but we want to analyze it the way they have it, right? 1, 2, 1. Now, I do recommend that once you have these values on the charts, that it's always a good idea to open up your line chart and kind of tighten them up to more consistent touching points. All right. Again, tap in with us on our night calls on Thursdays. This is the advanced days. I'm not going to really go into deep explanations right now, so just follow along with me. All my one-on-ones, tap in with me tonight. Okay, so keeping in mind, like I said, at our 4 hour, we're not finished buying yet. At our 1 hour, we're not finished buying yet. But right here, our suggested stop loss, we haven't even reached it. So we really just want to, at this point, be patient, keep eyes on our vibrato, looking out for triggers, right? So as I mentioned that, let's stand on that. Let's look for any AUD JPY. So let's look for what's going on. What I do notice right here is while it's not an AUD JPY, we've got a JPY that's buying. Okay, you guys. And when was that called? That was 43 minutes ago for point of reference. Keep on coming down. Another JPY buying 58 minutes ago. So you guys, these are things you want to pay attention to. Okay. Now, say I get a trigger, I push play, I get us an AUD trigger. That does not mean that it was for a hypothetical scenario. It's green. It doesn't mean go directly in for that buy. I still need to go in and analyze where we're at. So let's take it down to the 15 minute. Okay, because this is where we're going to see our activity. You know what I mean? Our larger time frames dictate actual movement at our 4 hour, the direction. Our 1 hour dropping down to that tells us the swing of what's currently going on. And 15 minute is where I exist. All right. I don't want to be down at the 1 or the 5 minute when I'm waiting on my trades. That's just a whole lot of setting up for anxieties and stuff like that, you guys. So when you're waiting for your trades, we're going to sit here and wait at the 15 minute. Most of the time, these harmonic scanner patterns are going to revolve around the BYOB cash out strategy. When you practice in discipline and you wait for those moments to happen, you guys keep an eye on this trade. Now, when into these moments as well, you always want to refer back to your news. So our AUD JPY, that session is not even open at the moment. So you might even have to wait a while for those significant liquidity pushes that we are going to be getting on like our Euro pairs, on our USD pairs here coming up soon. Okay. Don't ever get too hasty and wondering about, oh, how long is this trade going to take to trigger? I'm telling you guys, discipline and patience, all of that. So in the meantime, what we're going to do is we're going to move on to another harmonic scanner trade. Let's see where the market has found more value. Okay, and it says that our NZD CAD, we have more area to pay attention to. Now, what I don't want to do right now is miss opportunity for pairs that are going to have liquidity pushes here soon. So I want to kind of skim through some of these guys. Don't really hold too much weight with them. Like I said, like don't have that whole fear of missing out. These triggers call all this tool. It's not like us. We get tired, all that kind of mess. This one right here, what's that song? I don't get tired. I'm telling you, all day. Don't worry, you're not going to miss out. And if new triggers aren't coming, it's for a reason. Patience, okay? So let's check out this GBP NZD and see what it has for us. I'm just going to refer back to the news for a little bit. We had news on GBP this morning. BOE credit condition survey released quarterly. Okay, why do we care? Spending and confidence. Rising debt levels are a sign that lenders feel. All right. You guys, all these things matter too when you're tapping in with the news. For all my 111s out there, don't get intimidated by any of this. Just keep on reading, keep on plugging in, keep on listening. Okay. The the vocabulary will become familiar with you. The only way it's not going to become familiar, you're not going to become familiar with it, is if you're not plugging in. You guys plug in. BYOB as a movement, we support over 40 calls a month. You guys, you can't get this value for free anywhere else. There are so many people out there that want to charge you ridiculous amounts for this to learn this skill set. And here we just want to economically empower you guys. We want you to have this information. All right. So again, when I bring my harmonic scanner values to my chart, I always drop my personal values on there. And since this is our second trade, I guess I'll go into a little bit deeper of how I select my support and resistance. So what I see is down here, there is a significant zone, and it looks like to be around our 1.96. So my psychological levels, we use this light blue. They are incredibly significant. So I make them a level 4 in width, 1.96. Guys, that's what I was referring to earlier as just being able to do that quickly. That's not our only psychological level though, but being that our 1.96 seems to be a zone, I just want to highlight that above this one, even though it is as significant being a 1.95, well, no, 1.98, sorry. Sorry about the confusion there, 1.98. Okay, so I'm not going to get to lighten up all the psychological levels between here and there. I just kind of want an idea of where we are actually at, and we are closer to our solid 2, it seems. Let's see where you're at. You are the most significant of us all. So I'm just going to delete this one. All right, so we are definitely at that 2. Okay, and so to drop my own personal support and resistance, guys, what I'm looking for here is when I look to my left, I want to see what's happened most recently. So while this is our high all the way up here, my personal support and resistance being yellow, I don't want to like jump for these wicks. That's a dangerous area to be. That's a dangerous area to make a decision. Okay. So I'm going to pull us down a little bit closer. And in doing so, I kind of see a zone right here with these 2 touches, right, that we have back here. These are significant. This is a significant area in the market. For some reason, price action rejected right here twice. And when it returned at this point in time, which we're going to zoom back into, when it returned right here, it seemed like there were some strong decisions that made it all the way to this peak. Now I say decisions because we want to keep in mind that these candles represent the decisions made by real people. So that's what another reason why I refer back to my news so much. Okay. But again, we're at the 4 hour, so we want to see some activity and what's really going on. Let's see if I can drop my pivots on this screen. It looks like in between the calls, I'm going to have something to address. I love my pivots, you guys. I love them. Now, again, keeping in mind that, none of these lines are definitive. So when I say I love my pivots, that doesn't mean I make trades based solely off of the values created by my pivots. But guys, they are areas of value, areas of value, areas of value. So what it looks like has happened is that price now lives in this zone. It's broken through this psychological level. We are oversold at my 1 hour. Let's see what our 4 hours doing. Oversold. So I can definitely see why it's looking for that reversal. Okay. So I'm going to keep this support and resistance here, but I'm going to drop another one back up here. Shouldn't have even taken it. And now, since this is a harmonic scanner trade, I'm going to go ahead and drop those values on there. Guys, like I said, I'm call it trust issues, whatever you want to call it. I'm always going to drop my own analysis on here before I ever come to laying these values on my charts. These charts belong to me. These charts belong to you. Own your charts, own your analysis. Use this harmonic scanner to gain confidence in your skill set, but don't stay here, you guys. If you guys just want to log on and grab some values, have fun, staying at your job. If you guys want to be wealthy, stay tapped in with us. If you guys want to walk off that job, don't cheat me. Come in here, practice, take this home with you. You know what I'm saying? Stay with us. Stay with us. Over 40 calls a month, you guys. Okay, so on my 1 hour time frame, we're gonna drop our suggested entry. Okay, so this value I'm gonna make blue. I'm gonna do a level 2 so you guys can see it a little bit better. And I make it a dotted line because I really like it. Sometimes, like with my dotted lines, I almost don't want to be able to see them. Like I told you guys, artful science. I don't want to be attached to any of these lines. They are not my analysis. 8, 4, 7, 7, 8. Okay. Now my idea goals, we're going to make these a solid 2. My first one, as you can see, being 2.0036032. And it looks like I dropped it somewhere wrong. No worries. 2.0036032. All right, and there we have it. Drop my second value. All right, 2.007325552. And let's drop a third value, which is going to be 2.0133. Now, you guys, another thing that I noticed from laying my own analysis on the charts before I drop my harmonic scanner values, and now full screen our candles here, is keeping in mind that we're at the 1 hour, right? So all these little wicks down here, they represent a lot more movement. They represent where price lived in this little zone that just magically, we'll call it, popped up. All right. And this is why it's another reason that's important to drop your own values with your harmonic scanners, because sometimes they will identify zones, right? Let's highlight this area and see what that looks like on the 15. Okay, and we see, like, let's understand how much this was worth. Up to that support and resistance line, we have 12 pips. Up to this support and resistance line, we have 36 pips. Guys, depending on your trading style, that I'm not saying this is an area of value to trade in. That's madness. That's a lot going on. Okay. But if you are familiar with not stop losses, but it slips my tongue. If more correctly, so if you know how to get in and out the market, these are areas of value. If you can identify the movement of price action, then those are areas of value. Okay, so down here on the 15-minute, while we're here, this reversal, you guys keep your eyes on these trades, monitor them throughout the day. GBPs, the London session is open. Look at our little London tower right here. It is open. As reports come out through the day, we are going to have liquidity pushes. Let's refer back to our economic news. Let's see what it is that we missed. All right, guys, we have 3 sources here. There's plenty of personal education here. I'm not asking you to fall in love and learn everything by heart what they're producing out here in these reports, but guys, just know how important they are. All right. And I'm not seeing any more news on our GBPs, but knowing that our USD is our power currency, everything is affected by our USD. We want to keep our eyes tuned when we have our USD news happening, especially when that FOMC speeches. I think that was back here on our Forex Factory. FOMC speeches right there, guys. Those definitely tend to affect the entire market. All right. Now, you guys that trade later on in the evening, we have another PPI. While it may not be a red folder, it is significant to this currency pair. All right. These are things that we see. Well, let's just open it up. Right. Why not? Okay. Released monthly, you guys, released monthly. Actual greater than forecast, change in price of goods sold by corporations. And we care because it is a leading indicator of consumer inflation. You know, words like inflation, tell me that's not important, you guys. And as you continue to tap in with us on these over 40 calls a month, you guys will familiarize with yourselves with these terms, understand, like, as you frequently hear them, why they are so important. Okay. PPIs, inflation, jobless claims. Where was that? Where was that at? Where was that? Oh, somewhere over here. Okay. But moving on, since we've got 15 minutes out from the call, let's analyze a vibrato trigger. Since we've got our harmonic scanner values laid onto our charts, guys, we want to wait through this GBP NZD. Let's see where our stochastic is. Like I said, they are oversold on the 1 and 4 hour time frames. So we are at our area of value where we're going to start paying attention, but we are not ready to get into this trade just at this moment. There's no telling how far this trade pulls down. And again, I mistakenly didn't add that stop loss value, but you guys saw the harmonic scanner trade on the screen. So we're not even going to jump into that at the moment. I want to push forward into our day and see what we can do off of our vibrato. We've got our EUR AUD that triggered on the 14 minutes ago. All right. It's calling us for a sale here at my 4 hour. We are selling. My 1 hour, you guys, we are selling. Now, being that I'm on a currency pair, a Forex pair, all right, I'm looking for my confluence at the 5 in this range, 5 minute, 15 minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, not in that order. As I mentioned before, on these Thursday calls, we do top-down analysis. I don't know why, but it's just something in me that doesn't allow me to see anything from any other direction. I'm a top-down guy. I've got to see the bigger picture. I want to know where we are at. You know, like I mentioned before, this is going to help you make decisions on your trades. What you wouldn't want to happen is to see this sale or that trigger for the sale come to our 4 hour and then our 1 hour, be like, oh yeah, we are selling. Just jump into that trade and then ignore the fact that we are at a zone right now. We are at a zone. It would bring to my attention that, like, these are the things, like, if you even got curious enough, go to your harmonic scanner and see if it's calling for any reversals at this point, right, you guys? Area of value at our 4 hour. We are overbought, approaching this incredibly important zone, it seems like. So I wouldn't be necessarily comfortable with, from a swing trader's perspective, jumping into a sale, then, walking away from my computer, go helping my kids get ready for school, all that, breakfast for me and my wife, all that good jazz. You know what I'm saying? And that's why we want to analyze everything that we pull from our tools, whether they be our swipe coin, whether they be our bounce back, whether they be our vibrato, our harmonic scanner, guys. there's so much value provided in our tools, but there's so much more value provided in actually understanding what it is that you've got going on. An educated trader is a profitable trader. An educated trader is a profitable trader. I feel like I've just been completely ignoring the chat. I'm sorry, you guys, if you guys have been showing me love. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. Thank you guys. But back to our analysis before we have to close out the call. I've only got you guys for 12 more minutes. Jump back in with me at 9 o'clock though. We're going to analyze our indices. Maybe you can see a little bit about what's going on with Bitcoin. You guys keep your eyes on the news. Bitcoin is a currency. All right. One thing in my lab, I really don't prefer the word Forex. All right. I like currency exchange because that's what we do here. We are in the profession of exchanging currency. Before I get too far, I'm ahead of myself. Let's continue to analyze this sale. 10 minutes ago, you can see where the trigger was definitely valid, where it did sell. Let me drop that value on our chart so you can see exactly where that happened. Now, I don't have any quick controls, you guys, for, well, Alt-J, I guess. I never paid attention to that. My vibrato triggers, you guys, will be listed in white or represented in white. The trigger was called at 1.56863. Okay. Now, keeping in mind that our vibratos are always called in corrections. All right. So you can see where it called, it corrected. All right. And now it's continued to sell. But you guys, I'm still not like in any way, shape, form, kind of comfortable in jumping into a sell right there. Now, still valuable, you know, without that trigger, I wouldn't have realized that, or I may not have come to this pair. And now I've been looking for a reversal. So what I want to do at this time is, now I'm not going to tell you guys when I expect this movement to happen, but what I myself am going to look for at this point is for this reversal. I'm not interested in dipping for pips down here unless it were to break through a zone of some sort. Why did I not get my other on there? Let's just control that. Boom. All right. So unless this trade right here were to break through this really messy zone right here, we can keep an eye out for what happens right there. And unless it breaks through that entire area right there, I'm not looking for a sell right now, you guys, at all. So being that I've got you for another 10 minutes, let's jump into another trigger. Our Euro USD seems to be indicating some movement. We've got a lot of triggers on the 15-minute right now, you guys. A lot on the 15-minute. So right now we're gonna have to practice some patience. Now, one indication of I can give you of why this is because of the amount of news that we have. Let me once again let me take it back to our news, you guys. You see how many reports we have in our USDs? You guys, the whole world is watching these reports. Like I said, those candles represent decisions made by very real people. These people may make more money than us, or maybe trading like with thousands and millions of dollars, but they are still decisions made by very real people. Okay. So when you see indecision in the market, you see that sideways movement, you know, check back to your news, see what's going on. You guys got questions about, you know, what's happening in the market, you know, start reaching out for answers. You know, the reason they give you a table of contents in books is for you, so you can like if when you got like when I was in the Army and we're doing our maintenance Mondays, right? And we need specific information out of our training manuals or our field manuals about the vehicle that we're maintaining on. They teach us from the very beginning to go to the table of contents. look for your information. You know, don't come to some staff sergeant or some first sergeant. You know, those are the people you don't want to talk to. Don't come to your squad leader asking for questions about the vehicle you're responsible for. I want to teach you to jump into your table of contents and look for this information. Okay, look for it, reach out, you guys. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with asking for help or reaching out for stuff like that, but you guys, we want to empower you. So here I'm going to teach you to reach out for your information. You know, it's kind of like with my daughter. If anybody hasn't heard, we got a BYOB baby. We doing pips and pampers out here. You feel me? I'm cashing out for Huggies. Well, when my daughter gets to filling those things up, or no, not that's a bad example, but on the times where she's just like unsettled, she just doesn't want to be put down. You know what I mean? She doesn't know what to do and she gets to crying. You know, for the first couple of weeks, it's cool to pick her up and cradle her and you know, cater to her every single need. But at some point in time, I'm gonna have to teach her to be on her own and to lay down and to not be as fussy. You have to get used to not being held all the time. You've got to figure out what it is on your own to be comfortable, right? This is relative to that. Okay, you guys, reach out into the news and learn how to be comfortable in your charts. All right, learn how to be comfortable in your charts. Before we go, this Euro USD is triggering for this buy, triggering, not signaling. Okay. Jumping up to my 4 hour just to see where we're at in the market. Again, top down always, guys. You want to trade with the trend, trade with the trend, trade with the trend. You know, I personally believe people who like to counter trend trade just like to argue. I mean, I don't know that personally. You know, I don't have a club of traders I hang out with, but it seems like something pretty plausible, right? So identify the trend, what's actually happening in the market. Our direction tells us that we're still selling. The swing, the trend, our current ongoings at our 1 hour says that we are still buying. Okay, so now I'm kind of interested in seeing like where can I, when I enter this trade, my 4 hour, it seems like we found ourselves into a zone. So very important, like I said, when, I didn't say get into a trade, but I said when. This little area right here is important. It seems to be that we've broken through that on a higher time frame. So I'm kind of interested to see how much further it would go. Being that we're overbought means our buyer strength is weakening out. I'm gonna keep an eye as to how far it would approach this level right here. So guys, our 5-minute trigger seems to be pretty valid. You know, I'm not, like I said, keeping in mind, like I mentioned earlier, when the triggers call on the vibrata, they are called in a correction. So what you're gonna expect to happen is that trigger to, let's see, let me go ahead and drop it. It was called at 1.14613. All right, what I expect to happen is for the trigger to alert, for some correction to happen, like we come into this sale, this quick sale at our 5-minute, right? And then once price action approaches that line again, that's what I'm going to be asking myself is, all right, can I take this trade? Can I take this buy? All right. And guys, from my perspective, a full-time trader, you want to wash, rinse, repeat this process all day. Between the calls, keep yourselves employed. You know, don't find yourselves distracted. Don't get on Facebook. Don't go find your Netflix show to watch. Tap in with your Harmonic Scanner. If you guys are subscribed to Bloomberg, listen to that. You know, turn off Fox. Get into your economic news. Turn off CNN. Turn off all that other junk and tap into some economic news. You know, we're not getting paid for our feelings. We're getting paid for performance. And here's where we're going to perform. All right, you guys. Now, be blessed, everybody. Miss Dyer, if you want to tap in with what we've got here at the end, or if you want to close this out, I thank you, everyone, for your undivided attention. I'll see you guys here at 9 o'clock.
No, I don't really want to tap in other than if you want to counter trend trade, you want to argue. That was hilarious. But it's a fact. But ladies and gentlemen, this has been phenomenal. So guess what? This is your advanced day. Make sure you show up. Make sure you come back at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time and 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Until then, we will see you at 9 a.m.